Now, one of the reasons that I encourage you to sit down while I read the gospel, because I can have you stand. But if you sit, then you can pull that Bible out of the holder in front of you. Pull that pew Bible out of the holder in front of you. And you can place it conveniently on your lap. And you can open it and read along with me. Now, we are going to read from the Gospel of Luke. For those of you who can't find it, it's in the New Testament, so go really close to the end of the Bible. And it's right after Mark and just before John. Page 73. 73? Oh, it starts numbering again. So the New Testament, page 73. Got it. Thank you, Betty. Reading then from Luke's chapter 15, starting with verse 1. Now, all of the tax collectors and sinners were coming near to listen to him, to Jesus. And the Pharisees and the scribes were grumbling and saying, "This fellow welcomes sinners and eats with them." So he told them this parable. "Which one of you, having 100 sheep and losing one of them, does not leave the 99 in the wilderness and go after the one that is lost until he finds it? And when he has found it, he lays it on his shoulders and rejoices. And when he comes home, he calls together his friends and his neighbors, saying to them, 'Rejoice with me, for I have found my sheep that was lost.' Just so I tell you, there will be more joy in heaven over one sinner who repents than over 99 righteous persons who need no repentance. Or what woman, having 10 silver coins, if she loses one of them, does not light a lamp, sweep the house, and search carefully until she finds it? And when she has found it, she calls together her friends and her neighbors, saying, 'Rejoice with me, for I have found the coin that I had lost.' Just so I tell you, there is joy in the presence of the angels of God over one sinner who repents." Thus ends the reading of the word.
Thanks be to God.
Now, I know that we know a little bit about parables already. We've talked a lot about parables, and we've read a number of parables. But I need to remind you about where we are in the gospel, okay? Jesus' face is set to Jerusalem. Jesus is on his way to Jerusalem. How many days out is he? 2 or 3, okay? He's 2 days away from Jerusalem, maybe 2.5. He has spent the last couple of weeks, we've been talking about Jesus at dinner at the Pharisees' house. Now, Jesus seems to be hosting his own fellowship. He is now sitting at a table with a whole bunch of tax collectors and, quote, other sinners. Now, they would probably be thieves and robbers and maybe a couple of prostitutes. But there are a whole bunch of people sitting at table with Jesus, and he is having a meal with them. He is having fellowship with him. But not only are they there, but the Pharisees and the scribes are there as well, having fellowship with Jesus. And in the midst of this, now I want you to picture this picnic table, please. Picture the motley crew of people sitting at this incredible feast, this table with Jesus. And now I want you to go in there and I want you to spread apart the folks at the table and find yourself a spot. In your head, come on, get that picture. Push the Pharisee over here and the tax collector over here and squeeze yourself in between them. wrong direction. Now, I read one commentator who couldn't deal with his feelings about this story, and so he said, well, my assumption is that the shepherd had an assistant shepherd that he left the other 99 with. Well, that's not the story. There was no assistant shepherd. There were 99 sheep left out there in the wilderness to fend for themselves while the shepherd took off looking for the one. Not only that, think about this. The sheep are out there in the wilderness, and what could happen? Coyotes or wolves could attack the sheep that are out there in the wilderness, and the shepherd could come back and find his sheep massacred. Nevertheless, the shepherd goes out looking for the one that is lost. And not only does the shepherd, when he finds the lost one, pick it up and put it on his shoulders gently and carry it back. He carries it back. He doesn't take out, get back there. He carries the sheep back to the rest of the 99. And when he gets there, throws a fabulous party because he's found the one. And Jesus goes on and he said, and there was a woman, a certain woman, who had 10 coins. She was counting them up and there were only 9 there. She lost a coin. Now, there are commentators who have to sit there and say, well, you know, they probably were worth $100, you know, in those days. And there were coins that were like equivalent of like 10 days' salary. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what the coins were worth. It's like saying, you know, the lost sheep was a prize-winning sheep. It doesn't matter. All the sheep are the same. All the coins are the same. They're all the same denomination. There aren't pennies, dimes, quarters, and silver dollars. They're all just coins. And one of them is lost. And the woman tears her house apart looking for the one coin. She sweeps. She gets the vacuum cleaner. She tears the joint apart until she finds it. And when she finds it, she gathers all that money together and spends it on a big party. She takes the coin to Albertson and caters a party and invites all of her friends and neighbors to come in and celebrate with her how happy she is that she found the one coin. Now, in this chapter 15, there are 3 stories. There are 3 parables. These are the first 2 parables that Jesus tells. The third parable in this chapter is, and they should all have different names. You know, the names that these parables are known by is the parable of